So this commenter believes that you've got to have a dominant person and a submissive person in the marriage. And he says to look at the generations that lasted for 60 years in their marriage. And my friend, longevity doesn't equal healthy. You're romanticizing these old generational marriages, saying that they flowed smoother and they lasted longer. And they did last longer, but let's be really honest about why. First of all, women had fewer legal rights and even fewer economic options. They couldn't get credit cards. They couldn't get a loan. How were they going to buy a house, buy a car? They could barely get good paying jobs. So almost all of these women were stuck. They were basically indentured servants. Also, a lot of states, in order to get divorced, required you to prove that you were being abused or cheated on, and that was really hard to prove. And did you know that marital rape was not illegal until the 1990s? You think these women were happy? They were being controlled. A lot of them were being physically and sexually abused, emotionally, mentally abused. Things might have flowed smoother for the men, but the women were trapped. Now, I know you're going to say, oh no, there are surveys that show that women reported higher satisfaction in their marriages back then. But friend, the bar was in hell. Good husbands were defined back then as a man who was not overtly cruel and physically abusive and could provide financially. That was it. Not that he was kind. Not that he was a good partner, not that he spoke to her, listened to her, or even liked her. And back then, women were socialized that they had to accept submission as their role. So they measured satisfaction against what was normal, not against the full range of human possibility. And they did not have much exposure to alternative life paths where they could support themselves, pursue their careers, or design their life around personal fulfillment like men did. So when freedom is not an option, compliance is often mistaken for contentment. And as you said, you're the one that makes the final decision in your home, and that is not healthy. That is abuse. The healthiest thing that you can do if you are the more experienced decision maker in your home is to lift your partner up, to not keep them as a dependent, to teach them how to make these decisions, to teach them how to do the household finances, to teach them how to speak up and use their voice. Because if you passed away tomorrow, would your partner be able to handle the finances, legal contracts, and health decisions? And if your answer is no, then you're not a loving partner. You're leaving someone extremely vulnerable in the world. So remember, control is not love, and compliance is not intimacy. Mutual respect between two partners in a relationship, that's the smooth flow. You learn to dance together and make these decisions together because you're marrying a partner, not a child.